Hello, and welcome back to Him Read. We're going to read How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I know it's a bit early for Christmas, but I want to read these all. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that most likely of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his hot or shoes, who stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find to stop this Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake brightly and early. They'd rush to their toys. Then, oh the noise, noise. That's the one thing he hated, the noise. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And then they'd feast, and they'd feast. And they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who's beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they do something he'd like least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bell ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing and they sing, and they'd sing and sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderfully awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. He made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. Then he chuckled and chuckled. What a great Grinchy trick. Why, with this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around. But since our reindeer are scarred, so there was bound to be frowned. But did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said. If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, and he took some thread, and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks. On a ramshackle sleigh, he hitched up old Max, and then the Grinch yelled, Get up! And the the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark. Quite snow filled the air. All the Who's were screaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, This is stop No. 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed. And he climbed the roof, empty bags in his fist. They slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. With the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, were the first to go. Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most pleasant, around the room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. He stuffed them in bags, and then the old Grinch nimbly stuffed all the old bags, one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beef. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food of the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by his tiny Who daughter, who had been out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know, the old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on the tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking up to my home, to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there and bring it down here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. The last thing he took was the log for a fire. Then he went to the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And then one speck of food they left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. And then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1:15 dawn. All the Who's still abed, all the Who's still asnooze when he packed up his sled. Packed up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. "3,000 feet up, on the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with the load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was Grinchlessly humming. They found out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will cry, boo-hoo-hoo. That's the noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hat to his ear. And when he heard a sound rising over the snow, it started in low, and then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, and he shook when he saw a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, though the home was small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes of bags. And then he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzle was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. But maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And then what then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. Then the minute his heart didn't quite feel so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. The roast beast. And that is the end of that story. Thanks for listening. See you later.